Hello and welcome to the first family workshop online. My name's Kath.
And I'm Kevin.
So we're going to run the workshop today around autumn, and we've just come through harvest. That's a very special time of year when all the crops are taken in by the farmers and get stored for winter, so we've got enough food. It's a very busy time for them, and we always like to thank God for the harvest that we've been given. But we like to thank God as well for lots of other things. So Kevin's just going to read us a poem.
September, October bring darker nights, a warmer coat to wrap up tight. The insects now seem far and few, the trees grow bare, a sky less blue. First came spring, then summer sun, now the autumn has begun. So, before Kevin reads a story, we've made a little display of things that we think might be nice to think about this year. So, it's a bit damp outside today and the sun's gone, but we've still got a lot of beautiful colours. We've got our fruit and our vegetables, and we can go out and get our conkers at the moment, that's always nice, and our fir cones. And there's still some lovely plants in the garden that are flowering, and the trees are just beginning to turn, so we're going to have those beautiful leaves of orange and gold that we can go out and collect and maybe put in a book to make a pretty picture. So Kevin's just going to read the story for you, and then we'll do a craft. And today's story is The Scarecrow's Wedding by Julia Donaldson. Betty O'Barley and Harry O'Hay were scarecrows. They scared lots of crows every day. Harry loved Betty and Betty loved Harry. So Harry said, "Betty, my beauty, let's marry. Let's have a wedding, the best wedding yet. A wedding that no one will ever forget." Betty agreed, so they hugged and they kissed. Then Betty said, "Harry dear, let's make a list." "Just as you say," answered Harry O'Hay. So they wrote down the things they would need on the day. A dress of white feathers, a necklace of shells, lots of pink flowers, 2 rings and some bells. Then Harry gave Betty O'Barley his arm, and the Scarecrows set off on a hunt around the farm. They hadn't gone far when some cows gathered round, and the bells round their necks made a wonderful sound. Ring-a-ding, ring-a-ding. "Oh, cows, will you please come and make your bells ring for our wonderful wedding, the best wedding yet, the wedding that no one will ever forget?" "Yes," mooed the cows, "we can tinkle our bells." Then a crab scuttled up with a necklace of shells. Some mice found 2 rings in a bin. They were certain the rings had belonged to an old farmhouse curtain. "Hooray!" cried the Scarecrows. They hugged and they kissed. "Pink flowers are the only things left on our list." Then Harry said, "Betty dear, I can find those. Why don't you pick some while you have a doze?" "Pink flowers? Pink flowers?" buzzed a big stripy bee. "I can find you a field of pink flowers. Follow me." So the bee led the way, and they travelled for hours till they came to a field full of pretty pink flowers. Harry stood thinking, "I won't pick them yet. I'll need to find water to keep their stalks wet." "Just follow me," croaked a lumpy old toad. "There's a lovely wet pool at the top of the road." They climbed up the road. It was terribly steep. "I'm tired," said the toad, so they stopped for a sleep. Early next morning they came to the pool. "This water," said Harry, "is beautifully cool. But now I need something to carry it in, a jug or a vase or a cup or a tin." "I think I can help," said a small squirrely snail. "I can show you the way to a very fine pail." So the snail and the Scarecrow set off on their way, but the snail was so slow, it took more than a day. Betty was worried. "What's happened to Harry? Where is the Scarecrow I'm planning to marry?" The farmer came by with a frown on his face, and he made a new Scarecrow to take Harry's place. said the Scarecrow, I'm Reginald Rake. He took Betty's hand and he gave it a shake. Together, he told her, we make a fine pair. You're really quite pretty, apart from your hair. Then he jumped in the tractor and told her, hop in, I'm a really fast driver, let's go for a spin. But Betty said, no, I must wait here for Harry. He is the Scarecrow I'm going to marry. We're planning our wedding, the best wedding yet, the wedding that no one will ever forget. Reginald laughed. Ha ha, you've been waiting forever. Forget about Harry. I bet he's not clever. I must be the cleverest Scarecrow alive. I can sing lots of songs, I can dance, I can drive. I'm dashing, I'm daring, I'm cool as can be. I can even blow smoke rings, just watch me and see. And he took out a big fat cigar from a packet the farmer had foolishly left in his jacket. But smoking is bad for you, Betty exclaimed. Really, you ought to be feeling ashamed. Don't be a fusspot, said Reginald Rake. My smoke rings are staggering, make no mistake. He struck up a light and he tried hard to smoke, but straight away started to splutter and choke. What happened next was completely unplanned. The lighted cigar tumbled out of his hand. It fell to the ground and it started a fire. Betty screamed, help! As the flames flickered higher. But Reginald Rake said, I'd better be off, and he bounded away with a terrible cough. Then suddenly, who should appear on the farm but Harry O'Hay with a pail on his arm. Betty, cried Harry, my own future wife. He poured out the water and saved Betty's life. Then they picked up the flowers, they hugged and they kissed, and they said, now that's everything crossed off the list. So Betty O'Barley and Harry O'Hay wed one another the very next day, and everyone, even the snail who was late, said, don't they look happy, and don't they look great? This, they agreed, as they sprinkled confetti on Harry O'Hay and his beautiful Betty, is the best wedding ever, the best wedding yet, the wedding that no one will ever forget.
Thank you, Kevin. Now that's a lovely story, but it also tells us some things that we need to think about. So all Harry's friends and some strangers got together and helped Harry and Betty make it a really special day. And it's been a little bit tough for everybody this year. It's not what we normally expect, and obviously we've had the nasty COVID virus that has turned everything upside down. But during that time, lots of people have helped each other, haven't they, Kevin? And that's something we should do all the time. That's something that we should do to say to God that we're thank you for all the wonderful creations and the life that he gives us. And we can do that in ways. It's not just about going to church. It's not just about reading the Bible. It's about showing God that you appreciate and you love him, and that you're grateful for the sacrifice he made for his son Jesus by helping other people to do things. And it can be really small things. It can just be doing something where mum or dad say, please can you? Or it can be something a bit bigger. So, keeping with the autumnal theme, we are going to make some hedgehog cakes today. So I've got some already made here, obviously. And this is really good. So mum and dad, you can make this as simple or not so simple as you want. If you want a really quick and easy craft, all of this can be bought ready-made. So you can buy cakes ready-made. We've got some chocolate buttons that I've cut in half, ready-made frosting. And I found these little eyes here, but you could use something else if you wanted to. If you want to make it a bit longer, obviously you can make the cakes and the frosting yourself. It depends on whether you like to bake or not. And this is really simple, and the kids can do it really well. So one cake. Even Kevin's made one, so it really is simple. And some frosting. Don't put too much on because it does get a little bit sticky. And then I'll show you when I've popped it on. You just pop it on, and then at the front you just make it a little bit flatter because that's where your hedgehog eyes is going to go. And I haven't got a piece of kitchen roll, so I'm going to have to hold my finger like that. Then you can pop the two eyes on. Doesn't matter which way round you do this, but I find it's easy to put the eyes on first. You got the eyes on, and then literally you just put your halves. You could use a whole button if you wanted to. But you just cut them in half and then you just put them behind like that. So I've got 2 in the first row, 3 in the second, but you can put as much on as you want to. And then you just keep going back to make the hedgehog spikes. And then when you get to the back, you just put a little bit less on because there's less space. And there you have a really yummy, scrummy hedgehog. So that's really easy and simple to be able to use to do at home. And plus they taste very nice. And Kevin's going to take one home for his afternoon tea, aren't you, Kevin?
I am.
Okay, right then. So we're going to finish today with a prayer. And we're going to thank God for the autumn season. God of all seasons, we thank you for autumn. We thank you for the touch of coolness in the air that gives us a new burst of energy, for the colouring of the trees that shows the creativity of your work, for the falling leaves that reveal the strength of the branches, for the colours of the fields that bring peace to our souls, for the smiles on the pumpkins that bring joy to children, for the autumn harvest which brings us gratitude for the bounty of the land that you have created, for the change of the seasons that reveals a circle of life. God of all seasons, we thank you as you transform the earth. Amen.
Amen.
So we hope you enjoyed our short workshop today. We would really look forward to seeing you at Christmas, but we think we'll probably still be on video. But fingers crossed, you just never know. But if not, we'll be back for a Christmas family workshop and we might do a couple of crafts that time. Make it a bit longer, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.